Koul is an author, engineer and politician based out of Perth, Australia with roots in Kashmir. Bill has authored and published 8 books, including 22 Years, A Kashmir Story. He recently ran as a candidate for the lower house of Parliament of Western Australia for Bateman electorate. Hello and welcome. You're watching a fresh new episode of NewsX VaKu. Joining me on the broadcast is Bill K. Koul. He's an author and professional engineer, and he resides in Perth in Australia. Now, his most recent book, We Humans, Our Initial 100 Days During the COVID-19 Pandemic, has just been released in early October 2020. And he's now writing his 9th book. In fact, he's finished writing it. It's about democracies of the world and is going to be published by the end of this year. Bill has 35 years of international experience in civil and geotechnical engineering consulting industry. He's worked on numerous projects in the past, including in Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, PNG, China, Mongolia, South and Southeast Asia, West Africa, and South America. Welcome on the show, Bill. So you are truly a global citizen, and it's good to see a person of Indian origin going ahead and doing some fantastic work, both in engineering and when it comes to talking about issues that are closer to the developmental points and issues that the world faces, be it philosophy, global warming, politics, bureaucracy, and whatnot.
Oh, thank you, Megha. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me for the show. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
You know, Bill, what piqued my interest is that, you know, you're going ahead and writing about, you've written 9 books so far in a span of about, 5 to 6 years, which is
yes.
Which is at quite a tremendous speed that you're going, and congratulations on that. Talk to us about your latest one that is now going to be published very, very soon.
Oh yes. I was a candidate in my state, Western Australian state election in March here. So campaign started last year in the month of September, 6 months before that. It was a long campaign. I worked very hard, and then and we had elections in March, which I lost because I didn't belong to the ruling party, the Labour Party. And there was a labor wave, a tsunami, I would call it, because opposition, everything was decimated, obliterated. So the ruling party won 91% seats in the lower house and 67% in the upper house. So, and soon after that, I embarked on this project. I thought I must get my head clear out and write about democracy around the world, you know. So it talks about Australian democracy, our issues, our geopolitical issues and all that stuff. But then it focuses on the world's 2 largest democracies, which is the United States and the oldest, and India, which is the youngest country, but the largest democracy. So, and because COVID-19 has really exploited, exposed democracies and problems, even here also. There are the World Democracy Index has fallen in the last 1 year, and it has been falling, and there's a reason why it is happening. So, yes, so it talks about, the first chapter talks about this, the global issues, the existential issues, we are facing, mainly because of population growth, which leads to higher energy consumption. It leads to climate change and the biodiversity loss and all that stuff. In the end, it will undermine our existence.
We're going in trying to become the linchpin for the Indian diaspora across the globe to come out with these structured, noble initiatives, be it politics, be it sustainability, be it about the environment, or any of these important causes. Because I was remembering, this time around when the COVID pandemic hit, the wave second hit India, and we were in dire need of medical supplies, oxygen concentrators, and they were difficult to get hold of. And there were a lot of these NGOs, and there are a lot of Indian Americans and people of Indian origin who wanted to reach out, but really did not have the ways and means. It took a lot of days and weeks to actually figure out a proper channel and then send across these essential supplies. So had there been,
that also shows,
had there been some sort of an organizational community at base, the communication and the logistics would have been much faster and easier. And that's why this inherent need for something of the sort to be built.
The COVID, the second wave, what happened, it also showed how closely we are, closely knitted, the global village. 40 countries, suddenly, India was exporting, helping 70 countries with vaccine before the second wave, emerged in India. Before that, India was helping 70 countries, but suddenly you had 40 countries helping, even including UAE and Bhutan and all that. So, I mean, no country on its own can survive. We are all interdependent. That's one very important thing I want to make. All countries are interdependent. No one country is so powerful that it can do without any other country. So that arrogance and that pride has to be kept on the shelf. There has to be an element of humbleness and humility in all of us, that we are interdependent. Small or big countries, doesn't matter. Every country is a part of the whole system.
Yes.
It's just like the biodiversity, the whole chain, small insects, small worms, they play their own part in the ecological cycle. So does in this global village. Yes, so COVID-19 has taught us many lessons. Yes.
And the most essential one of that. It's been great talking to you, Bill, and I'm awaiting eagerly for the new book on democracy, talking about India and America specifically. I would be dying to get my hands on it and read about it. And thank you so much for joining us on this special VaKu telecast. And I wish you all the best for your political journey ahead that you have initiated at this point of time. And here's to hoping to having you on the broadcast much more often.
NewsX ITV network have proudly launched the VaKu Diaspora Broadcasting Network.
VaKu DBN will be India's first mainstream platform dedicated to the diaspora community. Help support us, become VaKu patrons at memboro.com/VaKu. You will get the first access to our interviews, make recommendations, merchandise access, ask questions, and get a shout out of thanks on our TV shows.
You can also suggest to us who should get the VaKu Golden Chakra Awards, and also tell us who should get into the VaKu Hall of Fame. Limited memberships are available at 100 rupees per month on Memboro VaKu.
Sign up now, log on to memboro.com/VaKu.